Hello, this is Leanne, and welcome to creating your very own sensory stick. Sometimes people might call it a spirit stick, others might call it a rain stick. Today, I hope you join me as we create something unique and special. Rain sticks can sound different depending on what you add inside. Today, this is the sound that I created. Now we're going to start collecting some items. For me, I'm using a paper towel holder that I have around the house. Feel free to use any item that would work for you at this moment. We want to also collect a few other items: toothpicks, nails, pipe cleaners, various assortments of beads, because they're all going to make different sounds when they're inside. I've also joined some beans into the mix just to create a different sound. In addition, you're going to want to add a few other items. I have 2 pairs of scissors, one for fabric and one for paper. I also have some wire that's bendable. In addition, I have some wire cutters to make it easier to maneuver. You can have some different type of tape. I have just regular masking tape, but feel free to have decorative tape if you want to use that to cover the tube later. I also have various assortments of embellishments, some buttons, some glitter. I have some different pieces of cloth and fabric. You might want to use some hot glue to add pieces on to make them more secure. And you might just want to use glue. So that's going to be up to you and your discretion. Personally, I have decided to paint the tube before going further with the process. I have my colors selected, my paintbrushes nearby, and a jar of water. Because I have decided to paint the outside, I will have to take a few minutes and step away from my project before I move forward. You can feel free to use tape or paste or whatever you would like on the outside of your tube at this time. Just remember, we are going to be making holes in a few moments. While I'm waiting for my paint to dry, I'm starting to cut my wire and bend it into a spiral form. When I originally cut my wire, it's going to be about 3 lengths of my tube. And then I just start to spiral. It doesn't have to be a perfect spiral, just a spiral all the way down until it is the length of the tube. In addition, I'm going to start cutting my pipe cleaners into smaller pieces. Once I have the pipe cleaner cut into smaller pieces, I'm going to add that to the spiral, and this is going to help to make the sound a little softer. So use your discretion, decide how much pipe cleaner you want to use and where you want to put it. Once you feel confident with your spiral, you will start to place it inside of the tube, taking your time and making sure that both ends extend just before the end of the tube. Once it is inside and you can see both ends, you're going to want to take a few pieces of tape and secure it inside the tube to prevent it from shifting later on. Next, if you have some smaller nails, we're going to take those and press them in to the sides of your tube. This is to help create space so you can slide the toothpick through. Again, the toothpick is just another way to create sound. So when your objects are moving inside, they'll have a little bit of resistance and a different sound. Once you have all of the toothpicks in and secure, you'll want to clip off the ends. At this point, I would highly recommend you wearing safety goggles or something to protect your eyes, as when you cut those pieces, they have a tendency to fly across the room. So please be careful. Just a reminder, it might be difficult to fully cut the end of the toothpick to make it smooth with the outside of the tube. I have decided to add some fabric and some buttons to help add to the sensory quality of my piece, but also to help hide all of those toothpicks. You can choose to do what you would like at this point. You can use any embellishments you would like. You could even cover your tube at this point with decorative tape. This is purely up to you and your own creativity. Once you are finished with that step of decorating the outside of your tube, you will want to take some tape and tape the entire end of one side. You can use some fabric, you can use some paper. You just want to close one end of the tube so you can try out some sound. So take a few moments and tape up one end so that you can pour in some of your beads, some of your beans, and just listen to the sound that you have so far. As you're listening to the sound in your tube, ask yourself, is anything missing? Do I need to put some rice inside to make a softer sound? Do I need more of a clingy sound, like a tink, tink, tink? Maybe some metal. When I was making my sensory stick, I decided to use some of those nails I used before and leave them inside of the tube. So my next few steps are just putting a few nails in and then listening to the sound. Does the sound get better? Do I need to add a few more things? Maybe I need to add a few more toothpicks. Maybe I need to add a few more beads. This is all a process. I just want to listen and get the right sound for me. Once you have your sound and it feels right, you want to go ahead and close up the other end of your tube with paper or fabric and tape it over just to secure it in place. If you've added any toothpicks or nails, you're also going to want to cover up whatever is on the outside and decorate it according to your selections. For myself, I've chosen to add a little foil to add some shine so it really catches the eye as you move the sensory stick. For my sensory stick, I have decided to add some fabric to the ends to make it a little more friendly, a little more magical, a little more sparkly. So I've taken two different types of fabric. One is from a t-shirt, the other is from some fabric I've had for years. And then I just place it over the end. I'm using hot glue, which would be a really good viable source to keep it sustainable. but you can feel free to try different things. So first I place the purple t-shirt material and I use hot glue to secure it in place. And then I take the more decorative fabric and layer it on top, and again use some hot glue to secure it in place. I've decided to add a little extra trim. I have some pieces cut off and add them to my ends, just as like a cap. Then I take some of my ribbon and I wrap it just around the middle so it kind of brings that fabric all the way through the sensory piece, all the way from end to end and all through the middle. Now I've started to add some extra embellishments. I have some pieces of flowers. I'm just going to add those for a little extra pop of color and a little more texture. In addition, I have some little beads I've decided to add in with some of the flowers. This is your time. You can make your sensory stick, your rain stick, your spirit stick, to look like whatever you imagine. Take your time here. Does this remind you of anything? For me, I found myself thinking of childhood and specifically going to camp. So then I decided to add a few more extra pieces. I decided to add some strings, which are ribbon, and a few feathers, just to give it a little extra pizzazz, if you will. Your spirit stick, your rain stick, your sensory stick will look like you. So just let yourself shine through. Let this be a full experience. Include all of your senses, not just your sight, not just your sound, but texture and touch. You can even add scent. If you add scent, you could add it to the feathers or some other fabric. Today I have added lavender. So when I move my spirit stick, my sensory stick, my rain stick, I smell the lavender. When you smell lavender, you can also sense it as a taste. So try to include all of your sensories in your sensory stick, in your rain stick, in your spirit stick. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you take the time to enjoy your new, amazing sensory stick. Take all the moments, take all the pleasure. You made this, and it's amazing. Have a wonderful and blessed day.